Okay, here is my go-to, my mashed potatoes. I've been making these for a long time, and one year my mom asked, well, my mom went over there for Thanksgiving. Um, I'd always ask like, what can I bring, and she would always say like chips or soda or something like that. I'm like, well, I'm probably the best cook in the family. You should suggest something more than that. And I mean, not being modest or anything like that, but it's true. Um, so I made my mashed potatoes one time, and my sister, my older sister, who thought she has the world's greatest mashed potatoes, brought over 3 giant trays of potatoes that she spent on like peeling and everything like that. Uh, no one touched hers. My bowl was scooped clean. And my sister was mad at me, and I wasn't allowed to bring anything else for Thanksgiving ever again. Well, that's not true. My mom asked me to cook a turkey once, and then everyone ate my turkey, and they were eating the stuffing, which they shouldn't have because it was sticks and like things you shouldn't be, like orange peels. Like you shouldn't be eating the stuffing. It's for flavor, not for your belly. That was the last time I was asked to cook something for Thanksgiving. So when I do go over there, I just bring a meal anyways. I bring a dish anyways. So these are my mashed potatoes. Super easy to do. Usually I figure about 3. I get red mashed potatoes. I don't like the brown Idaho ones for mashed potatoes because you have to peel those ones. These you don't. The skin is great. You can get these ones. You can get like the yellow ones, or I think they're butter potatoes or whatever they're called. Usually I figure about 3 potatoes per person. I like medium-sized potatoes. Not small ones, like the medium-sized ones per person, and then I usually go about a clove of garlic per 3. But this one I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I have 12 kind of smaller ones, some bigger ones. And then I cut these up for 2 reasons. It boils faster instead of just putting a whole potato in there, because you could. But the really main reason is you don't get the stringy skin. So if you boil the whole potato and try to mash it, you're going to have like really big long pieces of skin. Like this is one of the bigger potatoes. This is about as long as it's going to get, and it's not like pulling this potato thing out of your mouth. So I'm boiling some water. I already threw some in there. I don't know if I don't have a really big boiling pot, so I end up using this, which I really like. But I want to throw some in there to see if I'm going to be displacing all the water and spilling it everywhere, and it looks like I might be. But anyways, I put some salt in there, and I put a little garlic powder in there, and then I will just go ahead and drop these all in. And you don't have to wait for the water to come to a boil. You just fill the water up, and then just start dumping stuff in there. And it doesn't it doesn't even have to be hot, just so which is nice. And another nice thing is too about the garlic. Not to take some of this water out very soon, like right now. Is you don't have to cut it up either, because you're just gonna end up mashing it. So you just peel it. I usually cut the sides off and then just smash it with a knife and pull the rest of the stuff out. I might not be putting all these potatoes in. Now I'll make it. It'll be fine. Yeah, because you're just going to be mashing them in there. So just having them just like this is perfectly fine. Just throw those in there too, and then hopefully you don't boil over. Yeah, I need a bigger mashed potato pot. I think we're gonna have 6 people coming over for Christmas dinner, so that yields a lot of potatoes. And there's nothing worse than doing this and then doing it again. So we're just gonna like tread lightly on this, and hopefully we don't. If the water steams off, you can just add more. Like I said, the boiling, the hot doesn't matter. You're just gonna boil it till it's mushy, and then drain the water out. And then I'll show you the rest. Okay, so these have been boiling for a while now. I was changing my lights outside, but it doesn't matter how long it's sitting there because you want to mush it anyways. But yeah, I just stab them with a knife, and this is going like right through, which is actually kind of nice because it'll mush much easier. I'm just going to drain the water out like so. Make sure that's off. And then I'm just going to take this butter while this is still hot. plop it right in there, let it melt, because I'm going to want to mash that up in there. And then what I'm going to do, and this is all to taste, like always. Just because I make different sizes of it, like you can't really measure how much I put in of this, how much I put in of that, or anything. But just make sure all the water's out, dump it in. And everything's gonna be nice and soft now to mush it up. A little trick that I do is the masher, the drawer stopper is what it's used for every other time that I'm not making mac and cheese. I spray it with Pam, and that just helps the mashed potatoes come off of there when I'm done with this, because it gets sticky and all that stuff. But then yeah, you just start mashing away, and what I'll do is I'll just keep adding sour cream, probably pretty close to this whole thing. This is a 16 ounce one, probably pretty close to this whole thing. Add some Parmesan cheese. I'll add a little more butter, and then I just use milk to put in there just to get the consistency that I want. I end up using a lot of pepper, a lot of salt, and then chives. You can use dried chives. I actually, funny story. If you ever want to make $1 million, sell rosemary during Christmas, because I couldn't find it anywhere. It's always out. So I ended up stopping at the hippie store because I want the rosemary for the roast beast. I ended up stopping at the hippie store because they didn't have it at Pick and Save. I'm like, well, I'm driving by. We'll see if they have it. They also didn't have chives at Pick and Save when I stopped. So I was able to find like a poultry mix which had thyme and rosemary in there. And then I was like, oh, cool, I can actually get some chives and not use, dried chives. And I also, when I made the roast beef, forgot that I had these snips, which once again are amazing. So I'll just chop those up like that, and I'm just gonna keep adding butter. I'll probably do like maybe when it's all said and done, like a close to half a stick of butter on top of that, and then sour cream, and you just keep mashing, pulling from the outside like this until it's really just the consistency you like. And I'm making this the day before, and I'll just warm it up on a really low heat tomorrow, instead of me going through all this tomorrow morning. This way I'll be able to watch the Packer game is at noon. Everyone's coming over at some point. So all I'll have to focus on tomorrow is making Brussels sprouts, which will be easy, and then searing the roast beef and cutting it. And I might even make the gravy tonight for that. We'll see. But that's all that the mashed potatoes are. They're super good. Like I said, you just got to keep mashing. Then you stick your finger and taste it, which doesn't suck either. And you're like, okay, it needs a little bit more of this. And the longer it sits, the more that flavor starts to come out. Like when you immediately mash it, you don't really get it. But if it sits for, especially overnight, it's going to be more garlicky, more peppery, or more whatever you're putting in there. But yeah, that's about it. And basically you want, I like it a little chunky, but you can make it as creamy as you want. You can make it chunkier or whatever. Just play around with it. Like I said, you can't have enough pepper either. And I'll put a ton more chives in here. And then when I'm all said and done, I'll kind of smooth the top out. And I'll slice butter, put butter over the top, and chop some chives, put Parmesan cheese over the top of it, make it look really pretty. So when it's time to eat, you pull it out, it has like melted butter and melted Parmesan cheese and the chives sitting on top of it. And the eyes, they make things taste more delicious. Even though it is delicious, when it looks good, it even tastes better. So yes, this is how you make the mashed potatoes, my famous mashed potatoes, which kicked my sister's butt, and you can tell her that I'm okay with that as well. So yes, enjoy mashed potatoes.